Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Adam. My name is Momchil. I'm the co-founder of LeanPlum and now Chief Strategy Officer at CleverTap.
And my name is Sunil Thomas. I'm co-founder and now Executive Chairman at CleverTap.
And today, we're going to talk about how we're bringing tech to MarTech. It's a very exciting talk. I'm really, really excited about this. But before we get started, I want to tell you a personal story. This is my mom back in the 90s. And when I was growing up in the 90s, she had a small boutique clothing store. Nothing special. Maybe 100, 200 people most knew about it. Just a neighborhood store. But she did a fantastic job of marketing. And she remembered people's names, but she also really tried extra hard to really cater to their needs. So she would remember also what they liked. She remembered all sorts of things about them. And every time she got a new shipment of clothing, let's say she got this new red dress, she would start calling her clients and say, hey, I got this red dress. If you want to come by, I'll keep it for you. Just come on by, right? And it was a great win-win situation because the clients felt like they're getting a very catered experience. It's almost like being a fashion stylist kind of situation. And my mom loves it because she was getting a lot of retention, right? So she was getting all these loyal customers back to keep coming back. And I truly believe this essence of what we're trying to achieve as an industry is this win-win scenario where on both sides, somebody gets something, right? And in fact, if you actually look at the history of MarTech, I'm going to walk you through the last 40 years of history in just a couple of minutes. But it really is just the story of how we take this personal story, the neighborhood store. I'm sure some of you may have a coffee shop's example or whatnot. This is the story about bringing this personal experience to billions of people on the internet. And I have to say, this is actually the grand challenge of MarTech. How do you really create personalized marketing that feels like it's not spam, but it feels like it really knows you, and it creates this win-win situation for billions of people and thousands of brands all around the world. And we've actually been on this journey for a long time. It's not a new thing. Back in the 80s was our first attempt at this. We invented database marketing, and this was groundbreaking at the time. Imagine, up until that moment, we were basically in a billboard situation where everybody gets the same message. And all of a sudden, with database marketing, we can do SQL. We can actually segment our user base. Granted, it was done on mainframe SQL, and it was just done on direct mail, maybe phone calls. But now, if you knew people's zip code, you didn't have to send the same message, the same mailer to everybody. And this was just amazing at the time, right? But it was just kind of the scratching the surface of personalization and solving this grand challenge of truly speaking and building digital relationships. Next up came the 90s, and email came about. And email is great because it basically did exactly what it sounds like. It was an electronic version of what we used to do in the 80s with mail, just a much more scalable, a digital channel, right? Same batch kind of data, same maybe SQL server, perhaps, but a lot more people to work with. Now we had millions of people on the internet back in the 90s. Then the 2000s came about. It was the web, online marketing. And now we have, actually, I think 2005, we crossed 1 billion people on the internet. And this was amazing. Just the sheer scale was completely amazing. And we invented Cloud SQL. And now we still have a lot of batch data. But we're starting to get some clickstream data, web clickstream data. And now the 2010s is where both LeanPlum and CleverTap, both of our companies got born. This was also a groundbreaking moment, in a way, for our industry. Because for the first time, you actually have a phone in your pocket, a device that's the most personal device on you, that is really designed to create a channel of communication and enable this relationship, the last mile of it, right? And now we're talking about billions of people. Today, there's 6 billion smartphones alone. If you add up all the smart devices and everything else there's out there, we're talking about tens of billions of devices. And we're talking about streaming data. Everything needs to be real time. NoSQL databases are prevalent, MongoDB or whatnot. And this is kind of the state of the art today. But if you actually look at the next 10 years of development of our industry, what we know for sure, if you kind of look at this trend line, one thing is a fact. We're going to have a lot more data to work with. We may have trillions of devices connected in 10 years, all the IoT devices coming online. Everything is going to be even more streaming. We really need to build a real-time context that's available at our fingertips for marketers to truly deliver on a digital relationship that they can actually build. But what's really missing, the question mark, is what is the technology that actually delivers all of this? And one thing, just an observation, if you look back, one thing that stands out to me as a technologist is that a lot of the technologies we as an industry in MarTech have been using have kind of been borrowed from other adjacent spaces. Perhaps, you see mainframe SQL. It wasn't really purpose-built for marketing, for MarTech. NoSQL, for example, was invented by Google, and a lot of ad tech uses that. And that's all great. But reality is, some of the largest companies in our industry, companies like Adobe and Oracle, they're all great companies, but they're really not known for pushing the envelope of what's possible with technology. They're great at marketing, but the tech piece, the tech piece, sometimes is lagging behind. And we believe that this is actually the main reason why this problem of building digital meaningful relationships is still an unsolved problem 40 years into the making. So today we're going to talk about how we're going to actually solve this problem. And for all of you in the audience today, if you're thinking, okay, well, this is some problem that's a pie in the sky, no, this is a problem that you've experienced every single day in your job. It manifests itself in a lot of different ways. For example, if you're perhaps running different campaigns and you're trying to do segmentation, you have a lot of constraints everywhere you look. Perhaps your data retention policy is limited to 90 days, or maybe state-of-the-art is 1 year. But then if you really want to look at seasonality trends and you want to build segments based on what people have been doing in the last couple of years, or 3 years, or 4 years, that's not possible today. The speed is just not there to be able to truly deliver on personalized messaging at the scale of billions of people around the world. You're often bumping into data point limitations, and we've seen a lot of examples of that, where imagine you're a dating app, and you just simply cannot integrate your most valuable event, which is the swipe event, because it has too many occurrences, and it's just going to run your overage bills everywhere. Or if you're a gaming company, we hear this all the time, your high-frequency event, maybe the hand event that's dealing cards in the game, that's an event that's the most valuable event in your game. Oftentimes, it's not integrated into your MarTech stack, again, for the same reasons. And then lastly, AI is just not prevalent in our industry. If you look at, again, ad tech does a fantastic job. In fact, I guarantee you that every single ad you look at on the internet that you get exposed to is touched in some shape or form by AI. And then you go back to your inbox and you look at all the emails in there, or you look at your push notifications, guess what percentage of those are touched by AI? It's going to be a very, very small percentage. This is the fundamental problem that we need to solve. So really making AI accessible for use at grand scale. And so all of this means that if we actually want to truly solve the grand challenge of MarTech, this is a challenge of affordability of data and availability of data. So today, we're going to talk about how we're going to help transition our entire industry from a world of spam and transactional messaging to a world where we actually enable these digital, meaningful relationships. And again, it boils down to data availability and affordability. We actually see a lot of parallels to what we're trying to do in this space today with a different industry, completely different industry, the industry of electric vehicles. And this is an industry that's going through a disruption relative to the legacy automakers. We have electric vehicles. Tesla specifically has been innovating tremendously. But the way they actually define the problem of transitioning humanity to a sustainable future is through making electric vehicles available and affordable. This is the grand challenge in their space, right? And they actually have built their own core technology. They are building batteries. They're making the most cost-effective batteries. They're also making the batteries that power the most powerful, longest-range cars. And they're really thinking about it from a first principles point of view, where they're building the core tech to fundamentally shift an entire industry forward. Whereas if you look at legacy automakers, they're solving the problem a different way. They're taking technology that's off the shelf. Perhaps they take their already ready-made cars, and they're just slapping in more batteries, more electric motors, and it just becomes a Frankenstein. And so none of them are actually profitable or successful with their electric vehicles to this date. So without further ado, MC, please place the video.
So welcome to the world of TesseractDB. This is the world's first purpose-built database for user engagement and retention. You saw why we needed, the inspiration behind the why we needed a purpose-built database. Now, it's important also to understand what we need it for. If you think about user data and first-party user data, right, in today's world of privacy and all of these different things, there are a whole bunch of, this data is different. It's like users have what we call profile information. That's my name, maybe my date of birth, maybe the type of customer, I'm a gold customer or a silver customer or a platinum customer, and a few basic information, maybe my home location, things like that. These are finite, these are small, these are, this can be used, of course, for segmentation and all, but this is a different kind of data storage. You talk about user behavior data, like every click you make in the app, every swipe, every food order, every movie you watch, every search you make, that becomes massively voluminous. That behavior data holds a lot of key to understanding users, like we all know. If I know a person for like 10 years, a human person, my best friend, I just know a lot more about him or her, as opposed to somebody who I've met like an hour ago, right? That's the basic principle. After this, you have business data, so this is, if you're an e-commerce app or an e-commerce company, your product catalog. This is, the list of restaurants if you're a food delivery app, in different geographies. All that business data goes into, and why does it go in? So that now you can match the best business data piece, the best product as a recommendation, the best restaurant to eat at dinner tonight, the best movie to watch on a Friday night, all of that based on your behavior history. So there are these 3 or 4 different types of data that are very, very different, and if used effectively, is the way you start building meaningful relationships with your people, with your users, really. And so we invented TesseractDB. We invented a protocol. It's inspired from RC file, which is a file-based protocol. What we've invented is called network columnar storage or network columnar format. It really, like RC file, it solves for 3 or 4 big problems. It's fast data loading, extremely fast data loading, so that you can look up 10 years worth of data in a few milliseconds. Fast query processing, so that you can segment users in real time, you can do recommendations and do AI, etc. in real time. Extremely efficient space storage-wise, that's important because that is cost, and that gets passed on as cost to our customers. So it's important that that is extremely efficient, and it's very dynamic. Just because we store it once, it's not used only for reporting or for insights that are sort of batch generated. This is real data that you can use it in real time as users are navigating the apps. We call it live operations, and there's all kinds of different things you can do with it. These are built on, a bleeding edge technology. We were one of the first companies in the whole world actually to use AWS's Graviton architecture. That's helped a lot to make this affordable, available, et cetera, et cetera. And we have 11 patents pending on this. These are pure product and technology patents, and it's about speed of processing. It's about real-time intelligence for marketing. It's about unifying profiles, user profiles across multiple devices, all kinds of good stuff in there. And today we do this at a lot of scale across our customers. We power more than 10,000 apps in the App Store. Our SDK is in like 3 billion devices today. That's about 1.5 billion, like 2 billion people, depending on how those averages work out. We do something like 1 trillion data points every month across our customer base. This is every click, every swipe, every purchase, every transaction, every date, and so on. And we do a whole bunch of messages, 200 billion messages per month. These limitations are what is currently what our customers want and our customers do. So what's exciting to me, to Momchil, to our teams at CleverTap is that there is no limits to this. The architecture allows, TesseractDB architecture allows us to sort of horizontally and vertically scale this to an unlimited kind of a scenario, no matter for what parameter you look like, you're looking for. So it's really exciting, and happy to go over all technical details if anybody wants to over the next 2 days. I'm here, Momchil's here, a lot of our team is here, booth 411, in case you want to do it. And I want to also mention that, we are unveiling it today, but this is technology that's not just off the shelf or whatever. The technology is today in its third generation. It was first invented in 2014, and we worked on these industry problems since then. We launched it with 3 months of look-back period or data retention policy, right? Because that was the best in the industry. And now, over this last 6 months, it's pretty much gone to unlimited. 3 years of look-back period or data retention policy is the default that we give now. But there is no limit. So we have customers who store it for 10 years, store it for like 12 years, and so on. Messages throughput, again, it's the same thing. We are able to scale it to practically an unlimited, messaging, whether it's email, whether it's push notification, text messages, no matter what communication channel. We are launching voice as a communication channel, and so on. Data points or user limits, how much data can you store per user per month? And this is not only Momchil, like Momchil said, the swipe event, but imagine who you are swiping left and right. So all of those sort of identifiers also get into that swipe event now to make it a lot more richer and really understand the person as to who he or she likes or doesn't like, and so on, so that the next experience can be much more effective. So today we allow for 2,000 data points per user per month, again, in our basic packaging, but really it's an unlimited thing, and you can do whatever you want. And we have a lot of customers, especially gaming, a lot of high frequency, that use a lot more data points than the default. And again, our AI, we're doing a lot of predictive modeling. We are doing a lot of, these 3,000 people are going to uninstall your app within the next 30 days. Or, these 5,000 people are going to make a purchase or become subscribed users from free users, before October 1st, and so on. And again, those predictions are essentially user segmentation techniques, so that you can now treat these people differently, who are going to purchase, who are going to uninstall, who are going to do whatever you want them or don't want them to do. And you get these means to intervene with these users in good ways to sort of better your business. So if this transition, if you really believe that going forward, digital relationships with your users are going to be key for your success and for growth, we certainly believe that, right? The more you can engage your users, the more convenient it is. You get reminded for the bills you have to pay. You get notified for, when there's a gate change for your flight. The land of the day of your vacation, the app looks different, tells you about the local place that you're going to, and so on, right? These are things that engage users with brands, and the app becomes an extension of something that they depend on, and that is a meaningful digital relationship. So if you think about that as a problem and not just like messaging, then it is a deep tech problem, And this is a problem that literally starts day one. It starts with how you onboard a user into the app, how you've laid out sort of helping hands to guide the user as he or she is onboarding into the app. And this starts with all of these magical experiences as the person is using the app over time. So this becomes a deep tech problem. Data is really powering this, and it's a sort of an intuitive thing to even understand. And we are set up well to do this right now. I want to leave you with one last thought about the magic pipe. We call it the magic pipe. It's sort of the opposite of a dumb pipe. And Facebook, actually, or Insta, whatever, social platform of your choice is a good example, is a good analogy to describe it. So I have hundreds of friends, followers on Facebook, Insta. And everybody is actually uploading pictures and whatnot every minute of the day. So imagine Facebook could dominate my inbox or my notification center by just XYZ uploaded, Bob uploaded, Sunil uploaded, and so on and so forth, right? But they don't. The one notification that I get in a day or a week or whatever, even that changes, is actually from a friend that they think I will get into the app for, right? So, That is AI, that is intelligence, and they learn as time goes along more and more, and you spend a little bit of time on somebody's profile, and you might get the notification when that person does something next time. So it's a goal-based pipe, you know. The intention is not that I frequency cap my notifications to 1 a day or 2 a day or 5 a day. It's a goal that I need people in my app. What is the best notification among the 1,000 that they qualify for that I should deliver to that person? That is the magic pipe that Tesseract enables. That is the magic pipe that CleverTap, and now powered with Lean Plum, will bring to all of you. That is the magic pipe that's out there. So I thank you very much. We are in booth 411, and there's quite a few of us. Love to see you there.
So come see us. We have a lot of goodies, and we may or may not be doing an NFT drop, so you may have a chance to do that. So come and see us and to learn more about that. Thank you all again.
Thank you very much.